The issue of reporting has never been, fair to us as Fulanis. The issue of profiling, we have been profiled, and it has been circulated, and circulation of every news actually depends on journalists. Like other speakers have said, all ethnic groups have criminals, but these criminals have never been addressed by the specific name of their ethnicity or ethnic groups. But Fulanis have been singled out of the 500 ethnic groups that comprised Nigeria to be named Fulani herdsmen, Fulani killers, Fulani terrorists. You have not been fair to us. Every news that ever been circulated was circulated by the journalist. This, we are asking you for fairness. We are asking you, requesting you to be just and fair in your reporting. Secondly, this high-profile criminality of kidnapping, cattle wrestling, is an alien culture to us. We have never been known with this. It was highly organized, mobilized, imported, and pushed to us. And we have been forcefully, believed to be the criminals, while we are not. We suffered the most consequences of this criminality in this country. We are still suffering the consequences of this criminality, especially of cattle rustling and kidnapping. Before one single individual in the town is kidnapped, several others must have been kidnapped in the bush. And no matter how much that thing repeated itself, and no matter how much this thing has been circulated, no single reporter ever reported it. And we believe this is unfair. It is unfair reporting. We are therefore requesting you to be fair to us. And to some extent, we are even beginning to doubt if we are Nigerians, because several laws have been promulgated to persecute Fulanis outside certain states in Nigeria where the constitution is supposed to be supreme. These laws particularly targeted, promulgated to persecute Fulanis out of certain states. And Nigerian constitution says every citizen of Nigeria is free to live and practice his trade everywhere. Now this brings us to the question, are we really considered as Nigerians? To some extent, we think the press, certain government officials, certain structures and fractions of the society have alienated us outside the Nigerian society. And this we cannot accept. We are Nigerians. We have fought for the independence of this country. We are contributing more than many other ethnic groups to the survival and sustenance of Nigeria as a nation. Therefore, we want to request you to be fair to us. If you have any report to project to the society, please look at it carefully and make sure that it is a balanced kind of reporting. It is not meant to, undermine one ethnic group and favor another ethnic group. You know what I am talking about. Benue State, Plateau State, Taraba State, and so many states in the southern and western Nigeria have, introduced some decrees that are directly targeting the Fulanis as a people.
As citizens of Nigeria, they can move to North Central, Northwest, Northeast, South, and establish their business without...
They can do so, but not with AK-47.
These Fulanis are Nigerians. They don't even benefit from government. They don't enjoy schools. They don't enjoy hospitals. They don't enjoy any roads. All the housing programs done by government, and they don't enjoy them, nothing. So to just throw them away like that because they happen to come from they are assumed to have come from states that may not have even enough water, enough grazing area. And you say you can only be done from in that state. I see it's not going to work.
I'm against the idea of restricting movement of Nigerians.
It's not only ranching we're talking about. We are talking about business generally.
Yeah.
People are selling spare parts all over Nigeria. People are selling all kinds of merchandise.
Yeah.
And they come from different parts of Nigeria and they move from one place to another. Then if you impose restriction of them, then you are acting
contrary to, but nobody is saying that nobody is restricting the movement of people. They are restricting the movement of cows. I mean, you can't have cows sort of wandering.
We're talking about pastoralists, herders.
Yeah,
herders go with their cows. That is their merchandise.
Yeah, but the reason they do that.
What I want you to get me right.
Right. Okay.
Herders, pastoralists, they always go with their merchandise, with their animals. You cannot separate them. Any attempt to separate them will not be possible because.
Yeah. Well, can I say this?
Yes.
The reason they do that is because they are seeking pasture. That's why they wander from place to place.
Correct. Exactly.
But if you put them in ranches where they have pasture and water, then they won't need to do that, will they?
Obviously, but
so you can't be defending that right to move through.
It is not the responsibility of federal government. I repeat again, to establish ranches. It is.
When it becomes an issue of a risk to life, when lives are being taken, people are being killed.
This is where government will come in.
Yeah, well, that's why the government is coming in.
Government will give support to individuals to go and establish a ranch. And once they do that, herdsmen will come and rear their animal in that ranch, and they pay a certain token. They will provide water for them. They will provide grass for them to feed, and they will provide vet doctors, medicine and medicaments for the livestock, so that they can live, comfortably.
Let me quickly say we should not stigmatize Fulani. Criminal is a criminal irrespective of the tribe. Let us say some terrorists, killers, who pretend to be herders have been terrorizing that area. But that is not a justification for jungle justice. I'm on top of it because I happen to be the legal advisor to the Edo North Vigilante Association, and I'm from South Sibi. I'm aware of the issues of insecurity, killings by criminals. Let's stop calling them Fulani. Let's call them killers, criminals, please. Now,
I would like to commiserate with about 200 families in the past few months in Edo State that have had their mothers slaughtered in the farms, have their fathers and children slaughtered in the farms, and those who have suffered kidnapping, as happened recently in Nauchi, around the Gbera camp, not far from the military checkpoints, where 4 people were kidnapped from their own streets at Gbera camp in Nauchi. You can confirm this from the security forces, only very recently. We have videos, and I have a lot on my phone now, of farmers who have been slaughtered in their farms. There's a camp in Ovia here. It's just a farm settlement. It's a camp. The people were sleeping at night, and then herdsmen or terrorists, we shouldn't actually be using the word herdsmen. Terrorists went to those camps, slaughtered them in the night. We have about 7 dead bodies lying there. I'm telling you things that have happened within the last 1 month. Now, burnt down some part of their houses. We have video there of Fulani herdsmen and terrorists entering into farms and uprooting cassava that people have planted and are waiting to harvest for this season and feeding them to their cows, and then those who dare to challenge them have been slaughtered. So for the 200 families in Edo State that have been slaughtered in the past 3 months, we commiserate with you. Now we know that we have north and south, because the language I hear from those who are condemning is south and north. It is no longer what happened in the Edo State, it's what happened in the south and what happened in the north. So we find solidarity when it comes to anything happening to people in the north and then from the north. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter that what we are dealing with has a history. It doesn't matter that on a daily basis Edo people are reporting killings in their farms, destruction of their economy. It doesn't matter. All of that don't matter. As long as that now happens to those who are from the north, then you have bodies, you have sociocultural groups, you have all sorts of people rising up in condemnation. It is a shame, it is condemnable, it is incendiary. If we react like that and look at things from such selfish prison, you will have war in this country, because you have families right now who are crying, who are angry, who have lost loved ones to this kind of brutality in the bushes. And now, as I told you, they have entered into the town of Auchi, and we are not having anybody condemning it. Before now, during the Buhari's regime, I remember that we had serial kind of killings like this. And then when Tinubu came in, there seemed to have been a little stopgap. But it appears that just recently, as soon as we started hearing of the political actors in the north complaining that Tinubu has neglected the north. We are beginning to see a resurgence of this. We understand what is going on. It is happening in Nigeria, it is happening in those states, and we are keeping note, irrespective of all those hypocrisies you see in the press. The people are feeling the burden, they are losing loved ones, and they are not going to be moved by what you are doing in the press.
Almost every tribe feels marginalized at this point.
Absolutely.
So how would you reach out? Would you reach out in the same way to, say, the Fulani headsmen?
I actually met a Fulani headsman on my way from Jalingo to Yola.
Okay.
During the election, I stopped. I saw him had about 400 cows, and he was shocked. And I called. I had an interpreter who was a policeman who was with us, and said, "Can you please ask him what he needs? What is it? Why are you guys like this?" And he said, "Look, it's not all Fulani headsmen that's violent." And I asked him what he would have done for him to stop him from traveling 40 kilometers at a time with all these 400 cows. Would you prefer if we can put you somewhere? A ranch? He said yes.
Oh, really?
So, yes. Yeah, this was covered during the election. So I'd already met Fulani headsmen, and I would have met more of them. But you have to distinguish between the Fulani headsmen who have legitimate, issues with how they raise their cow and what happens to farmers in the process of doing that. And those who are perpetrating criminal activities. We would have separated it. We deal with the crime first, and then we have dialogue around how to ensure that those people who are walking around with their cows for forage are taken care of. And it was our proposal during the election that we'll have ranches across the country, not rural settlements.
Okay, you stress that.
These are different things. A settlement is a place that you are evacuating people from and putting in new people. And they come, when you settle people somewhere, it comes with rights, and some of those rights could be rights to land ownership. But what the commercial ranching could have done is not to allow anybody to settle anywhere. You take your cattle into the ranch because the ranch is operated by someone else, or a group of persons, or even a third-party commercial
enterprise.
You go in there, you register your cow. In the US, they even have numbers on cows. And they have access to what is available because it'll be hydroponic. It's around water, and they graze. And after you're done, the place can also be a place for transaction, where people can come and buy the cow. So you don't have to move the cow to another place.
And then
sell your cow there.
Other people will get into ranching.
Exactly. I keep talking about Redeemed Church and Redeemed Church of God. I would love them to have a ranch.
Okay.
Because they eat a lot of cows in that place. Every year they have their Holy Ghost Congress. They eat about 20,000 cows. Why can't they have a ranch? The beef industry is a $3 billion industry.
Welcome back to Local Journal, my people. We dey hear within the Fulani people they talk and within other Nigerians they talk. And they talk say Nigerians they profile them too much and Nigerians no dey fair to the Fulanis at all. Fine, na true it be say they get equal right as every Nigerians, but the thing be say you know if you go the maraud about the unalive people for inside their own land, it don't make sense at all because Southerners no fit go their own land and be go their own place, go they try all these things where they happen for inside the South. And another thing where they be say, as much as I no support ethnic profiling, if we go be very honest, the problem we get for inside this country, the major insecurity problem what we get for inside this country. Now one particular ethnic group now they spoil all this problem. Now one particular ethnic group now they create all this problem. So why they try to pamper them? Why they try to do cover up for them? If the federal government Nigeria fit profile people where we say they fight for self-determination, why they no go fit profile Fulanis where we say that they fight people all about? No wonder some people they talk say Nigeria they like animal kingdom where some people are more equal than the others. The current crops of leaders what we get for inside this country. Now, one of the people where they complicate the already existing problems what we get for inside this Nigeria. The truth we say, whether south, north, or east, anywhere they come up from, they fear to talk the truth because of their own belly. Why not they allow few people where we say they don't even many for inside this country? They control the whole country and they override on our own people. We not fit talk anything because of our selfish interest. We know say for inside this country, the Southerners never one day come for the Fulani unprovoked. Now these Fulani people now then they spoil all this problem what they get for inside this country, especially the insecurity problem what they get for inside this country because they won't grab people land and they won't make on their own. So what are we saying? The earlier the Southerners begin to say their leaders where they appoint and their leaders where they represent them no mean well for them, the better. So I will play the remaining video, make me hear within other people they talk on top of this matter. But before that one, if today na be the first time when you visit our channel, beg make you like, make you share, make you subscribe.
Fellow Nigerians, Kunchi Kutuma Buro Ubanku, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Fulanis are the #1 citizens of the country, and you must honor them and honor their cow. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
They will invade your farm, kill your wife, destroy the means of your livelihood, and there is nothing you can do about it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
They will rape your wives, steal, kidnap you, and there is nothing you can do about it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And anytime you touch any means of their livelihood or you touch any of them, there will be justice for the Fulanis. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Fulanis are the #1 citizens and you are inferior. Their cow is better than you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now get that into your tick score. Tozo, there is nothing you can do about it because Fulanis are the #1 citizens. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
After destroying you, they are not going to compensate anybody. The government will compensate nobody. We will compensate nobody. And if you touch them, we will send the soldiers after you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Weeks. One Nigeria is a scam. One Nigeria is what? Is a scam. Said we are one Nigeria, an innocent young girl, Deborah Yakubu Samuel, 200 or 300 level, Shehu Shagari, College of Education, Sokoto, just uttered a voice note in their WhatsApp group class. They tagged it blasphemy. You said we are one Nigeria. They came to the school, brought her out from the class. Where was security? Where were the Nigeria DSS and Nigeria Army? Watch the video. The young lady was running for her dear life. She saw death, painful death. She was brutally killed. Her life was snatched from her forcefully by the Muslims just because she said Holy Ghost fire. Why sending religious things in our WhatsApp group? This is a class WhatsApp group made for students, made for information. They ganged up and tagged it blaspheming, and you say we are one Nigeria. Where we are the politicians, where we are men, she was running and screaming for life. People were passing cars. She was stoned to death. And the only thing Nigeria could tell us was only 2 persons arrested out of hundreds of people that stoned this young lady. Not only that 2 were arrested, 34 lawyers headed by a professor of law demanding that the killers of Deborah should be released. 34 Muslim Islam lawyers volunteered, came out to defend the murderers that killed an innocent young girl. 34 lawyers headed by a professor of the law to demand for their release. Even the chief of Imam of Sokoto, Abuja, came out publicly to say what those people did, committed murder, they are right. Until today, they are not arrested. If you are to be a pastor, they will target that the pastor is getting war. One Nigeria is a scam. We can't be one, and we don't want to be one. No justice for Deborah Samuel Yakubu. We are still crying on the death of this innocent young girl. Our Igbo men in Sokoto, their houses and shops were set ablaze. You say we are one Nigeria, you destroy our businesses, you kill us, you make life difficult for us. One Nigeria is a scam. Bishop Kuka, the bishop of the Roman Catholic Church in Sokoto, will have been killed. Cathedral ablaze. The bishop's court ablaze. You say we are one Nigeria because he spoke and said the truth. He condemned wickedness and injustice, and they sent for him to be killed. But the Imam of Abuja and Sokoto supported murder, supported evil. They are walking freely. Nobody arrested them. Nobody sent anybody to kill them. You say we're one Nigeria. You said we're one Nigeria 3 days ago at International Market Day, Abuja, where billions of naira belongs to Igbos were set ablaze. You said we're one Nigeria. The land is sick. We are still talking on what happened in Sokoto, what happened in Abuja. Another is happening in Bauchi, where they said another young lady blasphemed again, and they are looking for her to kill yesterday. She narrowly escaped, and Igbos again were the targets. Just a young man stood to defend this nation, to defend these people, and said, we are not one Nigeria. Allow us to go. You arrested the man, detained him under DSS custody, just because he said allow us to go, and whether they like it or not, by God's intervention we will go. It is time for Christians all over the world to wake up. We have been praying, we keep on praying, but even as we pray, it is time to fight. Inasmuch we know that war is not good, but we can't fold our heads and watch us being killed, all in the name of an umbrella, one Nigeria. me, a priest, don't believe in one Nigeria. Bringing it down to Anambra State. The north, we are not safe. In the east, we are not safe. Oh Lord, heal our land. You are telling our brothers in Sokoto, in Bauchi, in Abuja to come back home. Come back where? Where there is kidnapping, where there are killings, yes, where there is no security. Come back where? Today we cannot walk freely in Anambra State any longer. Why are we doing this to ourselves? I speak to the eastern region. I speak to my fellow Igbo brothers. Why are we killing ourselves? If you kill all the young men, who will stand on the day of battle? And they know what they are doing. They will not bring security men to the east. They want us to kill ourselves. How can your fellow Igbo brother, one negibo onyi Igbo, what will you gain? Is that how we are going to get the Biafra? All these people you shoot on the way, they are your brothers. We have a major enemy. We have enemies. We have enemies, clean us. Let's team together and fight that demon, that enemy. We are clean ourselves. The land is sick. I want to plead with the Igbos. Don't stop killing your brother.